Well, I don't know if we're going to have necessarily intro today. I'm trying to get it working, but I guess not. But welcome everyone to Running Point. We're here with Wrestling Wednesdays with Gary Alsizer. And Gary, we actually have
The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Now we might have it. This is Wrestling Wednesdays with Gary Alsizer. Welcome everybody to the Wednesday edition of Running Point. And Gary, for the first time in our wrestling season and the first time since you've graciously decided to join us on Wednesdays, we're going to have some results to talk about in the wrestling world as some matches went on over the course of the weekend. And just talk to me a little bit about, from your experience, just how excited you are to have wrestling back in the area.
It's a great time of year. It's my favorite time of year personally, of course. There's always the excitement that builds up to the first match. So I know going into the first match, every team's got a little bit of butterflies. Every team's got a little bit of excitement and anticipation because it's now a clean slate and the new season has started. So, I'm excited to be here. We have our first match, Wellsville, next Tuesday. So this time next week, I have some results of our own finally. And it feels like the clock is just moving at half speed for me personally.
I'm sure you're excited and chomping at the bit, waiting for the Wellsville program to start off. But I'm sure you've had a chance to look around and see some of the results, at the very least, of the wrestlers around the area. And I guess, in just your perspective, what kind of names stuck out, and what kind of big matches were you looking into over the course of the weekend?
As far as individuals, Logan Hours won the Cambridge tournament in pretty dominating fashion. He pinned his kid in the finals in 1 minute and 8 seconds, I think, which is pretty much what I expected from him. He's really the class of the area as far as individuals go, and he's even wrestling up. I think he's wrestling at 160. I doubt he's wrestling that when it comes to the state tournament time, so he's probably bumped up a weight class to help his team. I'm just guessing here. But he did well as a team. Beaver Local finished as runners-up at that Cambridge tournament, which is a pretty tough tournament. They came in second to Miami Trace, which has a really great program. United Local came in second place at the Malvern tournament. They lost by 1.5 points, which is basically the difference between a win by a pin or a win by a decision. So they were super close to winning that tournament. They came in second place there. Boardman came in second place in their dual tournament. They beat Alliance 39-25, Cheney 72-10. Cheney is a new program that just started up last year, so you have to give them some credit for going and wrestling in a tournament like this. They beat Hubbard 60-15, Jefferson Area 55-24, and then in the finals lost a close one, the Big Red, Steubenville Big Red, 42-36. In the Poland duels, South Range did what I thought they were going to do. They blew through everybody. It wasn't even close. They beat Edgewood 55-23, Poland 66-16, Salem 66-12, Wadsworth 61-16, and one other team 72-12. So they really just blew through everyone. So things kind of went as I thought they would this weekend, to be honest with you.
And talking about that too, I guess my next question for you is, when we're talking about early season, obviously, and we've talked about how it's such an individual sport as much as it is a team sport. So say you're in a match too, and you don't have the greatest performance in the first week. What's the biggest thing mentally to do as a wrestler? Maybe if you're new to this, maybe if this is your first year at a varsity level, what's the best thing to do mentally if maybe you didn't have your best first match or first week of competition?
It's a very long season. It's from the start of the season, mid-November, through the state tournament is mid-March. So you're talking 4 months. So what if you had a bad weekend? Big deal. Life goes on, and it goes away really quick because the next match is always coming. The next tournament is always coming. So especially if you're a first-year wrestler, your first match, really your first year, you're just getting your feet wet and just learning. If you go out there and you've never wrestled before, you've got a couple weeks of practice, and you go out there and you know the rules. You don't lock your hands, which is a big one for new kids. If you were to wrestle all 3 periods, even just to go all 3 periods and maybe lose a decision, you're on the right track. It's not a big deal. And if you didn't even do that well, so what? You've got a long time to go, and nobody's good at anything the first time they try it. I know we used golf as an example of starting up in wrestling would be like starting up in golf and never golfed before. The first time you go golf, I don't care how many times you practice, you're not going to have a good day probably, unless you're some kind of phenom. So it just takes practice and time. Give it time and be patient.
Talking about that too, and we talked a little bit about the Cheney program. I mean, just from your point as a coach's perspective, what are some kind of tips and tricks with a program like that that's trying to get back off of its feet to really try to build themselves up into a respectable and good quality wrestling program?
I'm glad you asked that question, because I literally went through that personally. When I took over the program the year before, there were only 2 kids on the team that were both seniors. So they both graduated, and we only had 1 junior high kid. So basically we started from scratch. So the very first thing that I did was just made the junior high an absolute 100% priority. It's weird with wrestling. Everybody, the dads, the moms, everybody wants to be involved in the elementary program. And then when you get to high school, you've got guys who want to coach and really be a part of that. But people just don't make junior high wrestling a priority. And junior high wrestling is the bridge to a successful program. I don't care how good your elementary team is. If you don't have a junior high program for them to come into and to bridge to the high school program, you're going to lose them. They're going to try out basketball, or they might just not come back out for the team. So a team like Cheney, there's a bunch of kids in the hallways there. I would say get a teacher to be on that junior high staff, a teacher that the kids like and relate to, and have that person recruiting their butts off in the hallways. And then once you do that, if you get the numbers up in the junior high, the high school, as far as numbers go, will take care of itself. And that is a lot of teams' problems, especially the smaller schools like ours. You'll see some schools only have a couple kids out on the team, and I'll ask them how their junior high program is, and they'll say the same thing. Well, we got a couple kids. If you see a team that has a healthy junior high program with really high numbers, their high school never has a problem filling out a full team. Beaver Local is a great example. There are 14 high school weight classes. In junior high, there are 16. There's even 2 more. They seem to always have all 16 filled or pretty close to it because they make it a priority. And their high school program never has any problems with that. South Range is the same way. Fitch, Boardman, all of those teams that make their junior high a priority never have this problem.
Coach, we already talked about the results from Saturday. Obviously, it was a lot of teams' first day, first match, first meet. What do you think coaches overall look for in a team's first meet, in a team's first match when they're looking? It's a brand new season. Everyone's kind of different. What are some of the things that coaches really look for and are looking at in a first meet?
First, you wanted to see how your fundamentals are doing. How was our stance? How are our shots? Are we setting our shots up? Are we finishing? How is our gas tank? That's one of the big ones, because once you get to the middle of the season, your gas tank should be fine, no matter what. The beginning of the season, it's kind of iffy. You wonder, are we pushing the kids hard enough in the practice room? Are we doing enough conditioning? Are we doing enough wrestling? At the beginning of the season, you're going through so much technique, trying to dust off the cobwebs. You're trying to teach the new kids the rules, stuff like that. So you want to see, is your gas tank good? Are your fundamentals sound? And what is it that we need to work on? So I know myself and my assistants, we take mental notes during the weekend. We talk about it on the bus ride there, especially on the bus ride home, what we saw. And then when we come back to practice on Monday, we work on those things and try to, improve on them before the next match.
Talking about your team too, Coach, and just talking about how you've been preparing. Just talk to me a little bit of how that process is going on, and kind of preview this matchup. You said you got Tuesday, I believe you said. So just preview this and how the boys looking ahead of this matchup for Tuesday.
So my team's a pretty experienced team, so I have the privilege to not have to really worry about my kids knowing what to expect. They're all doing fine. We're progressing just fine. Our weights were good at our alpha test, and we've got a couple new kids on the team, and they're progressing well. So I'm going to be looking for those things that I just told you. How is our gas tank? How are our fundamentals? Are the new guys doing the things they need to do? Is there something maybe we didn't go over or didn't go over enough with those guys? We wrestle Steubenville Catholic Central. They're Division III school just like us, and they got about the same amount of kids. So this will be a good first test for us to see where we're at.
So when looking at these results, and I'm just using Hubbard as an example, so this is for the newbies like me who are trying to learn everything they can about the sport. So to say like they played 5 matches on the day in the co-ed wrestling meet they were in, and they went 3-2. The scores are like 44-36. Those scores come from each wrestler's points that they get throughout the day, right?
Absolutely. So all 14 weight classes, you can score up to 6 points per weight class. And so you start. The way the match works is that you'll weigh in. The referee will meet with the coaches, and the referee will have this bag with these little like pucks. They look like that have the weight classes on them. Reach in, grab out a weight class. If it says 144 pounds, you'll start at the 144-pound weight class. Go through heavyweight, and then go back and start over at 106 and go up through 138. And then each one of those weight classes has a match. If there are kids in those weight classes that you can score 3, 4, 5, or 6 points each on. So that's what you're seeing. So if it was 42-36, like you said, basically Hubbard won one of those dual meets by 6 points. So basically one match.
Talking about it too, and of course, like Anthony, Gary, I mean, also trying to get into the realm of wrestling. Talking about it, I gotta assume that there's different ways, obviously, because there's multiple ways to get wins. There's multiple ways to be great. Have you personally seen, and what are the differences, if there is the case, in the wrestlers that are just really good at getting the pins, and maybe are there wrestlers that are really good at just getting decision points and just beating you point system wise, and you can never really get them to the ground then?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And there are kids that are just like that. Through the years, I've seen kids who you'll see they have great records, but they win every match 3-2, 4-3, 5-3, 7-5. And they know how to get ahead, and then they know how to, win. Winning a close match in wrestling, that's a skill that you learn through time and through experience. That is 100% true. And the kids like that are usually the kids that have been around for a long time. The pinners, the kids that pin, that's my team. I don't know what it is about us. We love to pin way more than we do with the points. I'm not sure. I just think it's kind of something naturally. Some kids just, when they get somebody in a certain position, they know how to finish, and they're not afraid to take a chance. So the pinners are usually the kids that take a chance. They're usually probably the stronger kids, the physically stronger kids, because it's hard to get someone on their back. When someone's fighting you tooth and nail to not get turned on their back, it is extremely hard to do that. So the kids that pin, they take chances. They're physically strong, and they probably have a high motor. The kids that win by points, they have that big gas tank. They know how to win. They know how to not put themselves in bad positions, and they've got experience on the mat to be able to pull out, going 6 minutes straight, trying as hard as you can with every single muscle fiber in you while you're watching your weight. You're going to school all day. You're practicing 5 and 6 days a week. It's not easy. So those kids have a big gas tank, and they usually have a high IQ on the mat as well.
Watching some of the highlights of the Boardman meet that we were at, that DJ Yoakley was able to call, man, you were right about this sport being so emotional. I mean, after a teammate got a win, you saw the whole bench kind of storm the wrestling rink, and they were all excited for each other. And then it was like, okay, calm down, go do your handshakes and everything. But the emotions that just take over after you get the win or you get the pin, it was really instant gratification almost, unlike some other sports.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing about the sport is with the dual meet. So it's not like football, basketball, baseball, whatever, where you've got multiple people, 11 guys on each side moving at one time. Each team is focused on one person on each side. And I saw that clip that DJ shared, and it was great. That's a perfect representation of how dual meets look, where the kids are all screaming. I seen a kid, he hit some kind of a roll, put his kid on the back and stuck him, pinned him, and his teammates went crazy. That's the sport at its foundation. That's it at its best, if you ask me. It's a bunch of kids rallying around a teammate and a bunch in their community as well, cheering them on, as they're taking on a rival. But then at the end of the match, what do they do? Like you said, they're excited. Okay, go shake your opponent's hand, go shake the other coach's hand, come back, next guy, you're up.
And Coach, you talked a little bit about someone ours and winning that tournament over the course of the weekend and just how good he is. And obviously we look at the records and we know records point system. That's an easy way to tell how good a wrestler is. But like looking at someone like him, what is it about him makes him so good from a technical standpoint, from an actual inside the mat standpoint? What is it about him that makes him so good and so tough to beat?
Logan, so he actually started wrestling with us. He actually wrestled at Wellsville in elementary school. So I coached him whenever I was the Tiger Mites coach. And he just, from day one, was special on the mat. His mat IQ was immediately noticeable. And almost, he has an uncle that wrestled in high school with me. And I can remember after one of his matches, he did this move that we hadn't showed. I said, "Did your Uncle Timmy show you that?" He said, "No." It's just something that came natural to him. So the sport came extremely natural to him. Just his body, his mind, it all kind of came in sync. And he just went, when he was on the mat, like I said, things just came easy. And he's very smart too. He's a bright kid. So I know he always knows where he's at. He always knows how much time is left in the match. He always knows what position he's in, where he needs to be and where to go next. So he is just, he's kind of a perfect mix of everything that you'd want in a wrestler when it comes to just being aware of everything around you, knowing the moves like the back of his hand, and then also being smart enough to put himself in the right positions at the right time.
Coach, we've talked a lot about the players in the area to watch out for, the teams that are so good. Who are some highlight coaches that are in the wrestling community in the area from these area teams that you highly respect, that are highly respected among the wrestling community?
So the guys at Beaver are great. Coach McComas and Coach Williams before him have done an amazing job there. Those guys are great, and their program speaks for itself. Coach Marcoulin at South Range and Coach Hively there. Those guys have done an absolute amazing job. We talked about this, I think, on the first show, that their program's not that old in the grand scheme of things. And for them to be doing what they're doing, looking at these scores here, I mean, they're winning by 50 points over schools that are twice their size, is just something you don't see much. Those are the guys that come off the top of my head there. We're in the OVAC, the Ohio Valley Athletic Conference, which has at least it used to, I don't know if it still is, the largest conference tournament in the country. And Parkersburg South is a part of that, which is a nationally ranked team. Coach Smith down there, those guys do some amazing things. They have a kid right now that wrestles for Wisconsin, who's one of the best pound-per-pound kids in college wrestling today. And he might be a national champion this year as a freshman. So those are the guys that come off of the top of my head when I think about who's good. They also come from big schools. And, South Range is a good example of a small school who has the right people in the right places, who are motivated, who get the kids out for the team. And I know Coach Marcoulin put a lot of work in with his elementary program there to build that up. And now he's up with the high school now, and you're seeing good things from it. And really, just like a wrestling coach, you just have to be extremely dedicated.
Obviously, with the coaching too, I'm sure there comes a lot of individualistic coaching that you have to do, because as much as it is a team sport, like you said, there's different weight classes and there's different abilities for each one of these athletes. Talk to me about the individual coaching that has to go into each one of these kids, and why that makes wrestling, I guess, so unique from a coaching perspective and from a participant perspective.
Well, with the coaches, they can relate to the kids because they were, we were wrestlers too. So if you see a kid going through something, whether it's their, watching their weight, or there's a move that they can't figure out, or maybe there's a guy that they can't beat, that they can't get past. All the coaches have examples from their life, from their time wrestling, from their time coaching, maybe other kids that they've coached in the past, or even just in life in general, to pull that kid aside, talk to him one-on-one and say, hey, I've been there. I know what this is like. I know that, having to eat healthy and not, be able to go eat whatever you want out of the fridge and working out every day. I know that it sucks, but it's worth it. Here are the things that you're going to benefit from it later. And, after the season, you're going to be glad you did it. And after you graduate high school, it's going to be a great memory, even if you don't think so now, even if right now the grind is really getting to you. We've all been there, and just got to push through it, and you'll be better for it later. So I really think that the life experience of being in that sport and being able to relate to the kids, it goes a long way in wrestling, because like I've said 100 times, you don't grow up in the backyard with a mat and a referee like you do with a football or a baseball or a basketball.
Gary, we know that your first meet is on Tuesday. What other meets are coming up this weekend and this week that we should watch out for?
Well, this weekend, I believe, is the Ironman, which is the one we talked about last week, which is the toughest tournament in the country. So that'll be the one that all eyes are on this coming weekend. And then next weekend, at least for us personally, and really there's a bunch of YSN teams that'll be at it's called the Division III, the D3 Classic at Waterloo. It's got 25 or 30 teams, all Division III teams, and it's one that the high school forecasters, the rankers, the guys who predict who's going to be the best teams and the best individuals in Division III, they really look at this tournament coming up. So we got a couple weeks of some good wrestling that we'll see, with a lot of state ranked guys and a lot of matches that'll be really in the spotlight.
I might not know wrestling as well as you, Gary, and I might just be getting into it, but I know one thing's for sure. Anybody that's in the wrestling community, I've heard them talk about the Iron Man. So just talk to me a little bit about what's so special about this tournament, and if you're a wrestling fan, or maybe if you're not, why this tournament would be a good one to start out for you to get to see some good talent.
It is the premier high school tournament. How did it get there? I honestly think it was because of where it's held at Walsh Jesuit, and for a while they were one of the top teams in the country for probably a decade, and they battled back and forth with St. Ed's as the best team in Ohio or the best team in the nation, really, some of those years. So that probably drew attention to it, and they, being that good, wrestling those good teams, probably as the coach went around a few years before that tournament started, I can imagine they were shaking hands, asking guys, hey, if we were to get a national tournament in, best teams in the country, would you guys come? And I'm sure that it just snowballed from there. So I'm just guessing, but I bet you that that's probably how it started. And why would somebody come and watch that? Because you're going to see, potentially future NCAA All-Americans, Division I wrestlers, national champions, even Olympians. You're going to see guys like that who someday may even be in MMA and the UFC. Who knows? This is really the top level of, an in-season, regular season tournament, especially in this part of the country. You're not going to see anything better.
All right. With our golf segment back in the fall, we had a tip of the week every week, and I want to start doing that with you too, because you are a wrestling coach. So for wrestlers out there that are getting started or even in it at your level in the high school, give them one tip this week that you think is really key to being a good wrestler.
Don't overthink it. Do not overthink it. There's nothing that will paralyze you on the mat more than overthinking things. What I tell my kids, especially the first year kids, say, you going out there to wrestle. It's your first match ever. All you're going out there and doing the same things that you do at practice. That's all. It's just a different kid. You just don't know him. You don't have science class with him. So what? Go out there, practice the moves that we've been learning. If you are wrestling, you hear us yelling something, listen to what we say. If you go out of bounds or it's end of the period, look over to us. We'll have something to tell you, and relax. No pressure on you. Don't overthink it. Go out there and have fun. Do not put any pressure on yourself, because you have absolutely nothing to lose as a first-year kid.
Gary, thank you so much for joining us today for another episode of Wrestling Wednesdays with you. We love to hear you, and we'll talk to you again next week with more results and maybe some special guests next week too.
All right, man. Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Garrett.
Wrestling Wednesdays with Gary Allsize are always a fun time, and we finally had results to talk about.
Yeah, and he'll have some of his own results to talk about as well come next Wednesday. So that'll be exciting for him to talk about the Wellsville community and what they're going to be able to do. Exciting times, too. We got wrestling coming back up here, too, up near Atwater, Ohio, as well as the Ironman, which I've always heard about in the wrestling community. So it should be an exciting time this upcoming weekend.
Good old Atwater, where the great things happen.
Atwater.
Atwater.
At Waterloo in Atwater.
Oh man, we're gonna take a break. Before we go, let's preview the rest of the show. We have Stephen Procopio, who might have had a big win last night, maybe a buzzer beater against Heartland Christian, who came in undefeated. Might have been a big win to talk about. We'll talk to him at 12:30, and we also have Scotty coming on at 1, and then we have picks and recaps as well from last night's action and picks for tonight. So. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring. And, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
Cocos Pizza, always supporting our community and our local athletes. Stop in on game day or score big and have it delivered right to your door. Check out our daily specials at cocospizza.com. That's Cocos Pizza, we serve it hot.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell, where we got a coach in the green room, and he has maybe a big game to talk about, maybe a big win. I don't know. Coach, how we doing today?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Long time no see.
I know, it's been a minute. Before we start, we have a clip, and we're going to roll it. This is from one of your delightful fans, and let's see this. Let's hold on. Let me make it full screen. Let's see this real quick. Let's see what you went through last night.
Hurry up!
So, Coach, let's go through that moment and kind of what it felt like to have that moment go through your team.
Yeah, man, I still get kind of some goosebumps watching it. That's not a bounds play we've had in our back pocket for the last 3 to 4 years. And, again, dating back to the last few years, we've had the same group of guys, so they really knew it. Last night, we went to go run it. It kind of broke down a little bit. And, Logan Sokol made a great play to get himself open for the ball. Aaron did exactly what we expect him to do. We told him in the timeout, we want you taking the shot. We trust you taking the shot. And big players want to take the big shot. Aaron did a great job of relocating himself to help Logan find him. He caught it. He let it go. And I could see it. I was kind of making my way down the sideline towards the baseline, and I could see it was going. And it was just it was an unbelievable moment for Aaron, for the entire team. I mean, later on in that clip, it's not shown by one of the fans, but you can see in our film, the students rushed him. Our whole entire team rushed him on the floor. I mean, it was a big moment for our program and for the kids.
Coach, I just want to go through that a little bit too. And going into this one, I think no doubt, I think everyone thought you were the underdogs going into it. What Heartland was doing on the offensive side. How proud were you as a coach that this very young team that we talked about when you were on last time was able to perform at such a high level, 60+ points on offense, and go toe to toe with the Lions?
Yeah, no doubt. Heartland, that's a team that returned 3 guys from a team last year that won 17, 18 games. They're a senior heavy team. I was talking to Coach Scott prior to the game, and he told me they had 6 seniors. I wasn't aware of that. But for our group, being so young, being only their second game, some guys, again, their second game of varsity experience, to go out there to perfect our game plan, to weather the storm there. I mean, we had a 42-26 lead in the third quarter, and Heartland stormed back, and to weather that storm and to be able to stick with it. Usually young teams, you see late in the game like that, they kind of get a little nervous, they kind of fall apart. But last night it was really, really great to see our guys stick with it, stick with the game plan, continue to do what we were doing, and continue to perform out there and be able to pull out a big, huge win for us.
Obviously, to beat a team like Heartland, you have to score, and your offense did execute pretty well. But you also have to slow them down a little bit. You can't stop them. You can't stop that team. But you were able to slow them down, hold them to their season low. Talk about your defense, what they executed so well, and how you were able to slow down this Heartland offense a little bit, enough to win.
Yeah, absolutely. We only had really one day to prepare for Heartland. We played Friday night against Matthews. It was a tough night for us. Saturday morning, it's a tough practice because you just played the night before. Guys are tired. Guys are beat up. So we went in and just watched some film of the Matthews game the night before. And then Monday we came into practice and we had, 2 hours to prepare for Heartland. We put together a game plan knowing that they can really, really light it up. The Berdovich kid, game 1 of the season, he scored 59. That kid can really flat out score. And like I told our guys on Monday night at practice, I said, this kid is hands down one of the best players you're going to see all year, and probably one of the best scorers that you're going to see all year. So going in, we knew we really had to take him away. And we preached it the entire practice. We need to frustrate them. We need to slow them down. We know that they're looking to get the ball out of bounds, and putting together a scouting report, you're just watching them. They get it out and they're going. It's usually inbound the ball, kick it up the floor, and they're already at the 3-point line ready to catch and shoot. So, we knew we had to slow down their fast-paced style of the game. We had to cut off penetration. We just really had to frustrate Berdovich. And the stats, when you look at stats, they don't tell the whole story. Logan Sokol last night, he's a senior for us. He's a gritty kid. He had 0 points in the game, but he was probably one of the most important guys all night because he was in Berdovich's face up and down the floor. And I told him, I said, Logan, you're not coming out of the game unless he comes out. And he came out the last 14 seconds of the third quarter. And we got Logan out, and that was the only break Logan had all night. And just to be able to go out there and perfect the game plan and in such short notice, again, one practice to prepare, and talk about him, for them to go out there and do what they did last night, it was impressive. And it just shows their hunger, and it shows the desire that they have to be a good basketball team. And, they're really learning, they're growing. Late in that game, we only played really 5 guys last night. 3 of our guys played 32 minutes. Like I said, Logan Sokol, he played 31 minutes and 46 seconds. And Ezekiel Brock, he played about 31 minutes. He got about a minute break in that game. So we kind of looked at our guys at halftime. We told them, listen, you 5 are doing a heck of a job out there. You're playing team defense, and we're going to roll with you guys. If you need a quick breather, let's use a timeout. But we're going to roll with you guys. And we did that, and they really performed, and it was a heck of a game. Could have went either way, obviously, late down the stretch. But for us to be able to
something's going on.
Sorry, that was my word. I apologize. But no, for us to be able to finish that game late like that, man, that was huge.
Got another answer off at the buzzer too. They got a knack for doing that over there in Jackson Mountain Country. But no, Coach. I mean, obviously you take that and you have that excitement, and that's going to be a great moment to put in the memory book. But we know coming up Friday, it doesn't get any easier as you go now to Camel. And I had the chance to see this Red Devils team, and they look very good this season. What is going to be kind of the game plan to slow them down offensively? Obviously, similar but different than Heartland as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Last night we got into the locker room, and it was an emotional moment for our team because everybody was throwing water all over Aaron Roma after he hit that shot. The floor was soaking wet, but we told the guys, enjoy the moment. Enjoy the day in school today, with all your friends. But at 5:30 this afternoon, when we walk into the gym for practice, we got to put it behind us because we got a tough test coming Friday night. Like you said, Campbell we saw him in the summer, and they're impressive. They're a good basketball team. They got a bunch of guys back that transferred back to Campbell. I think they got 7 in total. They're athletic. They look to get up and down the floor. We just started to dive into some film this morning of them because we try to take it one game at a time. With a young group, we don't want to look past any games, and especially like last night, we couldn't look past the Heartland game. We had to be prepared for that game. So we just started diving into some film and just watching them. They're good. They play a fast style of basketball. They push the ball. They got some really, really good athletes out there. It's going to be a tough test for us, but we've started to put together a game plan, and, seeing them in the summer gave us an added bonus to kind of know their personnel already. So that gives us that chance to go in tonight to practice already knowing some of their personnel and what they already do.
Coach, how do you balance the idea that you said, like, you have to put that win behind you and not let it, let you go into this game a little bit high on the mountain, but you still have to use it as momentum. It's a young team. You have to use it as momentum. You have to use it as energy going forward. So as a coach, how do you kind of balance that with this young team of, we don't want to harp on the win, but we also do want to make sure that you guys use that kind of win for energy, momentum, confidence heading forward into another tough game?
Yeah, no doubt. Last night was a huge win for us. But we say every day we got to be 1-0 We're not worried about our record. Tuesday and Friday nights, we got to be 1-0. So, like I said, we got to put it behind us. Obviously, we got to use it for some momentum. But, we got a tough test coming up on Friday night, and our schedule doesn't get any easier. The following week, we got Lowville. Week after that, we got McDonald. We got a tough schedule. So, we have to put it behind us. We have to use that momentum, but at the same time, we gotta move on and focus on Campbell, and that's got to be our main focus. We got to forget about that. It's a great moment. Like I told Aaron Roma, I sent him a text late last night because I couldn't fall asleep. I was so kind of amped up and excited for him. I sent him a text and I just told him, hey, enjoy it today. Enjoy every moment of it. Walking through school, people telling you, hey, great shot, man. That was awesome. Enjoy seeing the comments on social media. And enjoy all the attention you're getting. But, 5:30, you walk in the gym today, we got to get ready for Campbell. That's the bottom line. We have to put it behind us, and we have to get ready for Campbell because we know we have a young team. We know we're going to face some challenges this year. We always tell the kids we don't want to be on a roller coaster ride. We want to continue to kind of go up and not be on that roller coaster ride where you're going up and down, up and down. So, we got to use that momentum to keep us going forward and keep going up. But at the same time, we got to put it behind us because Campbell's a totally different animal.
Talking about that too, Coach, we know another big part of what made that moment with Aaron last night so special is having that Jackson Milton community there and support to be there and rush it. How important was it to have this community back, and how important is it going to be for them to travel with you guys on Friday to be there rocking in that beautiful Camel gym?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's so important. I think a young group, they really feed off that. The first 2 games we've been at home. I got to give a lot of credit to those students that are coming out and watching the games. They're awesome. Last night was funny because, to begin the game, like I said, in that beginning of that third quarter, our fans, our side was going nuts. It's 42-26. Logan Sokol actually in a timeout said, hey, we got to step on the gas pedal here. We got to put it away. And I guess, sorry, guys. I guess Heartland must have heard that because they really stormed back, and you could hear their fans really getting involved in the game. And then late in that game, it was back and forth from the fans from both sides, and it was unbelievable. But for us, that energy from the fans has been amazing. To keep our guys energized and to keep them really wanting to play hard, and it was huge last night. We're gonna need them again Friday, and for the next we got 20 games left in the regular season. We're gonna need them all 20 games, especially with this young group. That's huge for them to have that support from the community, from their peers and their classmates. That's just huge for them.
Coach, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations on that big win, and good luck on Friday and the rest of the way. We'll talk again real soon.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you, Coach.
Take it easy.
That was Coach Procopio of the Jackson Milton boys basketball team, and man, what a win for him. We showed the clip. One of the exciting games last night, not the only exciting game last night, as we have some recaps to talk about here before we let Scotty come on for his segment on Wednesdays. Ty, let's just go through the scores, and then we'll kind of double back and hit some of the ones that caught our eye. We'll start in South Range, where I was at. West Branch wins a tug of war with the Raiders 53-47. Brookfield knocks off Columbiana 57-53, a tough one, and back and forth battle all night. LeBray wins 46-37 over Niles.
Yep, you got that one on me.
I wasn't gonna,
Yeah. You have to pause. I'll give it to
you. Lisbon gets the 65-49 win over a pretty improved Urban Scholars squad. Canfield rolls against East 73-20. Lowville barely edges out Southeast 67-62. Ty, this was one we both got wrong. We might need to give more respect to Lowville going forward.
Yeah. Wait, did we both get this wrong?
I thought we both picked Southeast to beat Lowville.
I thought I picked Lowville at the last second. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I thought I might have.
We'll look at the tapes.
Yeah, we will. We'll check the tapes on that one because I was pretty confident in Lowville this season. But no, like I said, that Lowville team, they got height and they're able to contend with some big boppers inside. And it's all about if they're making it from distance too, they can be a really dynamic offense.
Crestview looked really impressive. 56-34. They get the win over United. Liberty edges McDonald in a low-scoring game, the lowest scoring game of the night. 40-36. The Leopards get the win.
Yeah, and you know what? A very, very good defensive game by the Leopards this season and this time around. Obviously a different McDonald team, but keeping it low scoring, and that was the way Liberty was able to pull it off.
McDonald actually held the Leopards to just 4 points in the fourth quarter, but they still couldn't come all the way back as they lose 40-36. Beaver Local beats Harrison Central 58-49. That was a big win for the Beavers.
Yeah, no doubt.
Of course, you were at Campbell. They win 66-45 over Valley Christian without Kevin Moore.
Yeah, no Kevin Moore. Xavier Leonard did plenty, though, for them to make up.
We'll hear from him in a bit, but Campbell, first time held under 80, does not phase them one bit. They still win by 21 points. Poland with a 10-point win over Austintown Fitch to get their first win of the season, 63-53. Boardman wins another thriller, 59-55 over Talmadge in the Spartan. What do you want to call it? Spartanville? Is that what Michigan State calls East Lansing? Spartyville? I don't know. At Boardman, they get the win. Cheney, another, oh my gosh, you can't believe it, thriller. 71-70. They get on top of this one as they beat Warren Harding. There's a clip of the end of that game on our social medias. You should go check it out because if you don't see it, you won't believe it.
Yeah, and I mean, Cheney's quickly becoming the Ursuline of this season. How Ursuline had all those final cut finishes.
You know what? I think Jamie Thompson and Anthony Roma are in for a treat this season.
Oh yeah, most likely, as Cheney's going to have tough competition, and they're going to be fun games.
We talked to Stephen Procopio. His team, Jackson Milton, final score 67-65 with that buzzer beater from Aaron Romai to beat Heartland Christian.
Big win, too, to knock off the Lions in a game where I think I got to say they were the underdog, just even at home, too. And like I said yesterday, you can't count out this Coach Procopio team. They made it to the playoff. Obviously, everyone made it to the playoffs, but they won playoff games last year. They had a decent run as well in them. So you look at what they were able to do last year, what they're bringing back. They play good. They play a solid team there, and they got good players over there in Jackson Milton.
So double back to your game real quick. Camel gets the 66-45 win. You had a chance to talk to Xavier Leonard, and we're going to hear what he had to say after this game and the Camels' big win.
Welcome back, everybody. I am here with today's player of the game, Xavier Leonard. 25 points on the night. And Xavier, I think a lot of those points came in big times, too. But before we get to your points, I want to get first to the rebounding and battling it in there with Joey Batista and John Trell Mixon. How important was it for you to get those boards for this team when they have some height and some size down low?
Again, rebounds was like a major, I want to say, it was a major thing to get tonight because we didn't have one of our starters, Kevin, so I had to step up and, do that. But getting rebounds was like one of the main things to do tonight.
Talking about that and just using those rebounds and using it to score offensively in the transition game, was that something I saw at least from first quarter to second quarter, you guys started implementing that press a lot. Was that something that you guys discussed internally between first and second quarter? And what was it that worked so effectively and let you go on that big run?
Yes, it was something that we had to adjust to because they were kind of getting out of control. So we just put that pressure on them and, started getting turnovers, capitalized off of it.
Talking about that, too, and obviously a lot of your points coming on the inside, driving to the hole and getting it from those boxes to the shoulder. When you are able to score so efficiently, how much does that open up for your shooters on the perimeter and really help make this offense as dynamic as it can be?
It helps a lot. It helps a lot. Me getting it in the middle, the defense is like crash, so like it opens up my shooters a lot, and that's like a big thing. Helps get a lot of points on the board.
Obviously, Xavier, we know how special this school is for you as you are trying to help lead this school to a promised land, and they obviously look like you got a great roster. What is it that makes Camel Memorial so special? And talk to me a little bit about your relationship with Coach Canarino and why you decided to have your career and your high school experience end here at Camel Memorial.
I say this season is special because last year Camel didn't have a pretty good season. And, coming back, starting off 3-0, it just bring a lot of momentum to the season. It's just good to have. And you know, Coach Canarino, we got a good relationship. He's a good coach. He knows how to play around with you, but when it's time to lock in, it's time to lock in.
You are certainly locked in tonight with 25 points, Xavion, as we are congratulating you on our Baird Brothers big player and big dog and big player of the game. We thank you so much for your time, and we'll be talking to you again real soon.
That was Xavion Leonard after Camel's big win over Valley Christian. Impressive because like he said, like we said, no Kevin Moore, and he kind of had to step up and shoulder some responsibilities. He definitely did that. 25 points. Did we get a rebound total? It had to be a lot.
It had to be a lot. I want to get the exact total, but I got to figure he had a double-double on the night. I mean, he was in on a lot of offensive and defensive boards. I think easily a double-double. I don't know the exact number, but I want to get the exact number before.
Let's go back to Cheney's big win over Warren Harding, 71-70. Anthony Romo had a chance to talk to Coach Marlon McGahee and Da Vinci McDowell after the game, talk about their thrilling win over Warren Harding. Let's hear what they had to say after their win.
Anthony Romo here with head coach Marlon McGahee, the Cheney Cowboys, after their thrilling victory over Warren Harding tonight. Coach, your boys went down big again early. How do you feel tonight that they fought their way back and ended out on top?
Oh, it feels good. We're getting them a little bit better. Like I said, we're a young team, so we got to learn how to win.
A lot of guys contribute tonight in big-time scenarios. How do you feel that'll go with this team as they head on in the season? They play in more closer games.
It'll go a long way. One of our best players out tonight with a groin injury, so he only played like 2 or 3 minutes. So we got other guys involved. That's what we do. We probably 12 deep, so it's the next man up.
You guys have played a lot of Division I schools early on in the season, a lot of bigger teams. How do you think that'll fare off for you guys as the season goes on?
Oh, that's what we plan our schedule. Every year we try to play the best of the best because that's what you have to do to get a better chance.
Losing 3 big seniors last year in Cam Lawrence, Quincy Jones, and Sherrod Taylor, how do you feel your group collectively has stepped up in the absence of those 3 guys?
Because they stood behind them all for 3 years and they learned from those guys. So it made us a better team. And like I said, when you work during the summer, it pay off.
Juwan Waller tonight, 19 big points. Just talk a little bit about his performance.
He's such a good kid. He don't know how good he can be. He's an all-around athlete, football player, basketball. He can probably do it all. So he stepped up big for us tonight.
Thank you, Coach. Anthony Romo here with Da Vinci McDowell, tonight's YSN player of the game. Da Vinci, 10 points, 9 rebounds. Another thriller. You guys love playing close games at home. How did it feel coming out on top tonight?
It was really nerve-wracking in the beginning, at the end, because they saw a 3, and then they saw a 2. So I thought it was a 3, so it was all nervous and stuff. So yeah.
You and Isaiah, 2 senior leaders on this team. Just night in, night out, how does it feel being one of those guys that the team can really look up to get buckets in big game scenarios?
It's kind of honor because I can show the younger people how to evolve during the game and how to deal with clutch moments like this. So yeah.
You guys playing a bunch of bigger schools to start the season off. How do you feel these teams will help you guys out as the season goes on?
I think when you play the hard teams first, then when you play easier teams, it's easier to play them because you're used to the hard teams to play.
Da Vinci McDowell, tonight's YSN player of the game.
How about that from Coach Madahi and Da Vinci McDowell? Da Vinci painting a masterpiece as Cheney wins 71-70 over Warren Harding.
Yeah, and Anthony Romo, again, doing great jobs, always getting us post games almost every single night out when he's got a game. So does a great job for us, and we always want to give our props to YSN's own Anthony Romo. Does a great job.
You need to come back on the show, Romo.
He does make appearances on Running Point. He's made quite a few, actually, too. So
he hasn't made any since football. We need to talk. We need to talk to him about some hoops.
Especially since he's looking at Hubbard girls, which hasn't been a bad team at all this year, a lot, and he's there right in on Cheney boys, and he's going to be on Springfield boys, so he's going to be around some very good teams this year. That'll be fun.
I'll preview tomorrow since you talked about the Hubbard girls. We're going to have a pre-recorded interview air tomorrow on Running Point with Grace Narcombe, one of the seniors of Hubbard. She is committed to play softball at Cleveland State, so we're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk to her about this basketball season and what it's like leading this team to the 4-1 record they're on right now. So it's going to be fun. Don't miss that tomorrow, along with some other fun stuff as well. Let's go talk about this West Branch South Range game because that's the last one we have post-game interviews for. Man, Ty, this was, we always say basketball is a game of runs. This game really, really amplified that message. 7-7, tied up early. Both teams are filling each other out. West Branch goes on a 14-0 run, and they're up 21-7. And it's like, okay, here comes West Branch. They have control. They're the better team. But then South Range goes on and what's that? Do the 19-2 run and goes up 26-23. But then, hey, before halftime, here comes West Branch. They go up 33-26 with a run of their own. And then they come out of halftime. They're up 33. They're up 33-23 out of the third quarter. So they're coming out of halftime hot. And then South Range answers. Down 10, they go up by as much as 9 in the fourth quarter. And then West Branch makes the final run, gets the final laugh, and wins 53-47 over the Raiders. It was a wild one. It was a tug and war all night. And the last pool went to the Warriors.
Yeah, and the Raiders actually looked a lot better than I expected too last night. And great job by Coach Kusenik and all of South Range for really coming out against a good West Branch team. But again, props to the Warriors for coming out and getting the end of the tug of war and actually finally finishing the tug of war and coming out with the victory.
3 Raiders were in double figures. I think Coach Kusenik would say it was the best game they played so far.
And it was a good game. I mean, when you play tough competition, you're only going to get better.
Unfortunately, they played against a West Branch team that brought back tons of experience and was not fazed by being down by 9 in the fourth quarter. I had a chance to talk to Michael Brown and Jackson Hendershot after the game. Jackson was the player of the game, finished with 19 points as the player of the game for West Branch. So let's hear what they had to say post-game after the Warriors win over the Raiders. Anthony Hartwig here with tonight's winning coach, Michael Brown, after West Branch's big win over South Range on the road. Coach, this was one that was back and forth all night. You guys had to grind it out. What did it take?
Yeah, I think our upperclassmen, did a really good job of playing with poise tonight, especially late. We're down 9 points there early in the fourth quarter. And, they understand that there's still a lot of time left in the game. We had a lot of timeouts. I thought we did a really good job of creating chaos defensively, but then playing disciplined on offense, which is tough to do at times. When you speed the game up, oftentimes your offense then is also sped up. We got steals and then made good decisions down the stretch. So it was good to see that.
Seemed like one of the big keys of that fourth quarter and you guys getting back in it was cutting down the turnovers and scoring and being able to set up that press. Was that just simply execution, or did you have a change of tactics, or was that just simply those guys realizing they have to change things?
Yeah, and I think that's just kind of their experience, coming through. It's a challenge right now for us. The football team had a great season. So we've only had 6 practices, with everybody together. So we're, this is kind of trial by fire for us, especially for some of our guys that are inexperienced. We have some guys that played JV last year that are now playing varsity. Our core's back, obviously. So I think that's what kind of carried us there down the stretch. Just good to see our young guards that have come in and, they've handled the ball really well, and I think that they're not trying to do too much. They're just taking care of the rock and they're taking open shots when they have them and they're knocking them down, which is good to see.
They say great teams find a way to win when they're not playing at their best. And in these first 2 games for you, kind of excellent that. What does it mean to you that this team just finds ways to win, even when they're not maybe playing the way that you want them to see them play?
Yeah, they're just a group of competitors, man. And that's why I think they've been so successful these past few years. They don't waver, they stay poised, and they're a gritty group of guys. And the best part about it is the team chemistry is good. They're a group that stays together. They're together on the floor, they're together after school. Just fun to be around these guys.
Coach, tonight's player of the game was Jackson Hendershot. Talk about what he brought to this game and what he brings to the team.
Yeah, I think we're getting better defensively each day, and that's what makes him so special. He scored 19 points tonight, but he also had a really good defensive game. And we're hoping that kind of is infectious and, helps everybody else get into the right spots and, make their plays. He leads us at both ends. He leads us as a communicator. So it's not a surprise that he's having success here early.
Obviously, early in the season, how do you use this one for momentum heading forward?
It's just game by game. We will use it as momentum, especially in basketball. within the game and within the season. There's big momentum swings, just like we had, tonight. You just got to weather the storm. There's going to be adversity at some point, just like there was in this game. And, I hope that our experience, bodes well for us.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Good luck the rest of the way.
Hey, thank you.
Anthony Hartwig here with tonight's Baird Brothers Player of the Game, Jackson Hendershot, 19 points for you. Jackson, this was one that you guys had to battle all night. How'd you pull it out?
I think it starts with keeping our composure. We were down 9. They went on a 9-0 run. I think when we kept our composure, we had the mindset that, we weren't going to let them take us down and pull out the win.
What adjustments did you guys make after that third quarter? They came out, they were up by 6 after, and you guys held them to 6 points in that third quarter.
I think it was really to control number 24. He was really hurting us down in the paint, grabbing on the left side and driving in. I think that, and I think pressing too, we kind of got into the right set, and yeah.
One of the reasons we were able to set up that press is because you stopped maybe, the live ball turnovers in that fourth quarter. Was that just execution better, or did you guys have a conversation in that break? What made the difference in that fourth?
I think it was just execution, really. Just our athletes, doing what they need to do and getting the plays done.
You hit some big shots as well on offense. What kind of runs through your mind in big opportunities when you get those shots to hit down?
Really, it's just a team effort. I don't make all these shots just for me. I do it for our team. So making those big shots, I knew it would hype them up, hype our crowd up, get us have them on our back, and yeah.
2 games down. I know it's early. You got a lot to go. How do you use this one as momentum heading forward?
Well, we've only had 5 true team practices so far. So we're still a little sloppy. I think we just need to go back, practice, watch film, learn what we need to do, and get back in shape.
All right, Jackson, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on the win and great game.
Yep, thank you.
That was Jackson Hendershot and Coach Michael Brown after West Branch's big win over South Range, 53-47. They get the win. And the most impressive part of that whole interview for Jackson Hendershot was his whole team was right behind me, trying everything they could to break his focus. They were dancing, they were using props, anything they could to break his focus, and he never did. So he is locked in, and one of the reasons why he's such a fun interview.
Yeah, and you know what? Coach Brown is also doing a great job as well. I love the mixture of coaches we have of the more experienced coaches that have been around the block a few times, and some of the newer youthful coaches. We've seen a few of them, and Coach Scott, Coach Procopio, and Coach Brown. And I love the different philosophies, and they all do a great job. Coach Brown, especially up there in West Branch, I think he does a great job with those Warriors.
All right, for stories and recaps and stats, head over to ysnlive.com for all the coverage from last night's games, along with our social media platforms. For now, for us, we move on to a guy that has come sashaying into the studio. It is Mr. Scotty Mitchell, still rocking the Browns jerseys.
Yeah,
he hasn't given up.
We're not mathematically eliminated yet. So
he's doing some Rain Man math in his head, like carry the 4, and we're in.
Yeah, I mean, basically it comes down to you win out, you're in. You lose a game, you're probably done. So that's what it's come down to.
Backs against the wall, man.
Yeah.
Scotty, before we start your trivia, do you have topics for us today?
I just briefly, and I thoroughly enjoyed it on the network last night. So I just wanted to get you and Ty's thoughts, Anthony, on the Harding-Cheney boys game last night. I just was so impressed by both teams. We almost had like a Reggie Miller versus the New York Knicks type moment with the 2 steals and almost 2 3-pointers. Foot was on the line on second one,
that's a heartbreaker, by the way.
But incredible finish called by Romo and Jamie Thompson last night on the network. So I just wanted your thoughts on the game, if you guys were able to catch that one at all or watch, a replay of it.
Wow.
And also your early impressions of Cheney and also Warren G. Harding.
Cheney's had 2 close games in a row, 2 1-point games in a row, and they've dropped one and won the other. And I'm sure Coach McGahey is looking at that Warren Harding one and saying, we dodged a real big bullet with that foot being on the line. That being said, Cheney knows how to win. That's what I'll say about them. Like they have players that can and will make continual game-winning plays down the stretch of basketball games.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, on the other side too, I think Warren Harding, just seeing them in the AAC, they've always been one of those teams that they're going to bring athletes. They're going to bring great basketball players, and they have a great basketball program, and it starts with their youth. So I knew this one was kind of circled on my books as this is going to be a great matchup. And obviously, both Anthony and I had games of our own last night, so we didn't see him live, but I did have a chance to go back and watch a little bit of it through the Facebook feed, especially the end of it, like the last maybe 10-15 minutes of it. I was able to catch, and great calls, obviously, by Romo and Jamie doing a great job there. But yeah, what a wild game and a wild finish, and that just shows you how both of those teams are going to operate. And I guarantee you, both of those teams probably have a decent run in them in their respective tournaments.
I want to do something that's not done enough, and that's give credit to the referees for being on the spot in the because it's easy to get caught up in a moment like that and just go, "Oh, it must be a 3," and hold up the 3 and then give them the 3. But they were right on it. They had their eyes locked into where his foot was, and they made the right call. So props to the referees for not getting themselves caught up in the moment and being able to be right on the spot.
Yeah, and there was also plenty of footage too of foot on the line too. So it was no dispute. They got the right call. Good job and props to
the. We got like 6 angles there. We brought the whole can of worms to that Cheney game. So we had all the replays. We're good.
Yeah, we got you all covered. We're good.
Scotty. Yeah, but I think Cheney's going to be a really good team. I think Warren Harding's going to be a really good team. That's going to be a battle for these AAC teams that we have under our umbrella to kind of deal with Warren Harding.
I agree based on what I watched last night, and I will say that too. Just to kind of close on this, that. For Cheney, a guy that I heard mentioned quite a bit during the telecast last night as a leader for Cheney basketball, the Cowboys, Isaiah Williams. He kind of had a little bit of an off night, but in the clutch when they needed him on the line, when all the pressure was on, he was able to step up and make 2 very huge free throws in that game to seal the victory. So Isaiah Williams is a player, a 5'10" senior that I'm going to continue to have my eyes on this season.
So you hear that, Isaiah? Scotty's watching you hard, so you better perform so Scotty has something to watch. Scotty, it is your turn for Trivia Wednesdays, and you have 20 minutes on the clock because we're going to start in about 30 seconds to be fair and then make sure we have a clock. So without further ado, your trivia will start in about 25 seconds. Preview it real quick. Do you have some guns in the holster that you're ready to shoot? Do we have any more from Super Dave?
Oh yeah, I'm guns blazing for this one. One came from Totally Super Dave, and then the two others that I have are ones I came up with, and also me, Dave, and DJ kind of collaborated on, but I'm full throttle, man. This is like Charlie Angels 2. Like I'm ready to go.
Oh my god. Go. It's time's on, so
Okay. So this is what I'm throwing at you, Ty. I hope you're ready. First, Ty, I want you to name the starting 5 of the last undefeated NCAA men's basketball champions or championship team. Name the starting 5.
all right, say that again so I can fact check it. About Ty things.
It's the starting 5 for the last undefeated NCAA basketball champions on the men's side.
Men's, because UConn did it not too long ago for women. So,
and this is one, Anthony. I was on the way over here. Dave, as I said, he obviously came up with this question. I was gonna maybe throw out some trivia. I was thinking about the made-for-TV movie, A Season on the Brink, which came out in 2002 and was released by ESPN. That was about the 1985-86 Hoosiers, and actor Brian Dennehy played Bobby Knight. But this is obviously before all of our time. This is one Super Dave. He thought it would be a good one, so I had to throw it out today. Ty, I know those wolves are spinning.
Ty, he just gave you the team.
I knew it was the Hoosiers. I mean, it was 75-76. It's Indiana was the team, and I think if I'm correct, I thought the starting 5 was Scott May.
Starting 5 in the championship game, or like, because you can change your starting 5 from one game to another. Is that what you mean?
Well, he doesn't. I'm assuming he meant in the championship game. I'm assuming he meant the starting 5 they used throughout the year or most of the year, unless somebody was hurt. He didn't go into the specifics with
There's Super Dave making it vague again.
I mean, I knew they had Scott May, Kent Benson, Quinn Buckner, Bobby Wilkerson, and Tom Abernethy, I think, was the other one. I think was their starting 5.
Can you say that one more time?
He got him.
Yeah, Scott May, Kent Benson, Quinn Buckner, Bobby Wilkerson, and Tom Abernethy, I think.
You're good, man.
And by the way, Tom Abernathy was moved in to Steve Green's starting role. He was a 5th-year senior, so you do have to be a little bit specific, because it was by the championship. By late that in the season, it was Tom Abernathy who was starting for Indiana, but he took over the starting role. So there were actually 6 players that were,
There were 6. Yeah, there were 6 very impact players. I was just going more towards when they were going to the championship.
Did you say what the year, season?
75-76, wasn't
that
it?
wasn't a question. We're not giving you a point for that, but we are giving you 5 points for the 5 answers.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Brings our total to 71 for Ty and 27 for Scott.
Yeah, well, this was one that I think DJ really thinks is gonna get Ty, and I sure hope he's right, because I got some serious catching up to do right now. Ty, of course, especially with the ESPN documentary on him, we all know about the history of the Fab Five, but I want you to name the NBA teams that drafted each of Michigan's Fab Five. And this is one here.
So wait, does Ty have to name the Fab Five and the teams that?
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to know who they are, but who they are isn't part of the question.
Who they are isn't really. I think.
So if you kind of know who they are,
I
but
think
know what team they went to.
I think Ty would get it. As far as knowing who they are, I think that's a layup for Ty. He knows the Fab Five, but I want to know what teams they were drafted by, and then also what round and what year they were taken. So
you want everything. Okay. Well, obviously Chris Webber was one. He was 94 Rookie of the Year, so that means he had to have been drafted then. And he was drafted number 1 by Orlando, but he was traded to Golden State after, I'm pretty sure.
All right, so what year did you say?
He was 94 Rookie of the Year.
So he was drafted in the what year draft?
Whatever the year before the 93-94 season was then.
So yeah, but remember, like,
it was the 93 draft then. If it was 93-94.
That's what I was trying to get to you. It was the 93 draft, so you got that. And you said that he was drafted by who?
He was drafted by Orlando, but he was traded to Golden State.
Question is who he was drafted by. So he got it. Orlando, that's one.
Jalen Rose was drafted the next year to Denver.
Got it.
He was a mid-round. I think Denver was like 14th that season.
Is that part of the question?
Do I have to get this?
Oh, when he was drafted, like where?
I think he was like 14th. He was a mid-rounder for sure.
Yeah, you are incorrect though.
Wait. So where they were drafted by is also part of the question.
Yes.
Okay.
You missed it by one spot, Ty. Well, according to Super Dave, he was 13th overall.
All right, I thought he was 14th. Juwan Howard was taken number 5 in that draft, though. He was taken up higher, and he was taken. Who was number 5 in that? I know. Oh my God, Juwan Howard played for everybody. Who was Juwan Howard drafted by? I'm trying to think of that one. Jimmy King was drafted 35th in the 95.
I'll be really impressed if you get who Juwan Howard was.
Yeah, I'm going to go through the rest of the Fab Five. I know Jimmy King was drafted by Toronto, and he was taken in the second round at some point, I think 35th, because I think Toronto.
Yep, he got that. That's correct.
Yeah, and looking at it, Ray Jackson was I don't think Jackson was drafted. Was he? I don't think Jackson ever did play in the NBA. And now I just got to think of who Juwan Howard was drafted.
I'm going to give Ty a point for that because he was not drafted, so that's correct. He was not drafted.
But I will
and he
say,
did play in the NBA, though. He was cut in the postseason.
Juwan Howard played with Miami. He played with Toronto. I know he played with Washington. I can't remember if he got traded there, if he was there first, but I got to say Washington in that round. That's who I thought Juwan Howard.
I don't think so.
The Washington Ty?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, they were were they the Bullets at that time? I think they were the Bullets at that time. Because I think before they became the Wizards, they were the Bullets. Because I remember seeing the clips of Cavs tapes on the documentary ESPN did for Cleveland.
Damn.
Bonus question, Ty. How many teams did Juwan Howard play for in his NBA career?
Oh my goodness. I knew he played with Miami. I knew he played with Toronto. He played with obviously Washington. He played with Portland, I think. He played with Denver.
Yep.
Played with Charlotte. He played with Dallas. He played with Houston. I don't know if he played with he played with a lot. I don't think he had any stints with the Cavs. That's all I could think of off the top of my head. He might have played for a few more after that, but I knew he was always on the move.
Yeah, he played. I have the Heat, the Trailblazers, the Wizards/Bullets, Dallas, Denver, Orlando, Houston, and then back to and then Charlotte when they were the Bobcats.
One thing going back to the complete five, the starters for the Fab Five. Ty, I believe you said you thought Jimmy King was the 35th pick.
He was.
Okay, so Super Dave's wrong.
Super Dave's wrong.
He has him as 36th.
Jimmy King picked 35th overall.
Now you're getting points off of me. Super Dave's just changing the answer a little bit to get me off my game.
I couldn't confirm the other one that was 13-14, so we're just going to have to go with Super Dave. But, Ty, you still got 9 out of 10 points.
You're coming to the basketball guy in basketball season with basketball questions, Scotty, right now. What are we doing?
The score is 80-28. And, Scotty, you have time for probably 2 more questions. You have 9 minutes on the clock. Well, 8 minutes now because it is now 1:22.
Well, I definitely have one more for you.
I'll help you out.
And, by the way, this whole show has gone for me today, and just how you've been nailing these basketball questions. I should have went away a little bit from the basketball theme, but I didn't. But heck, Ty, I'm gonna throw this out there. Going back to the shot by Michael Jordan, Ty, I want you to name the starting 5 for the 1988, which was the year I was born, the 1988-89 Cavaliers. Name the starting 5 and 5 key reserve players.
Jeez, you want him to name 10 players? That is so objective to say key.
I'm pretty sure.
Ty, it's pretty much like name the whole Cavs roster of 1988.
But here's the thing, Anthony. I play a lot of 2K, and I'm pretty sure this is one of the legendary teams that's in 2K. Is this exact team?
You're scared.
So I've definitely played with this team before on the legendary teams.
All right, so first with the starters.
Ron Harper, Larry Nance, Mark Price.
From Georgia Tech, by the way.
Brad Daugherty, sorry. Who was the other one? Because they had Craig Elo. I don't know if he was a starter. Well, he started some, I think, towards the end, but I don't think
it doesn't matter. He might count for the other 5 you have to name anyway.
Yeah, well, I know Elo was on that team. Obviously, he was on that team.
Now we need 5 more.
Yeah. Craig Elo is definitely on that team. I named Brad. I named Elo, Ron Harper, Larry Nance, Mark Price, Mike Sanders, Hot Rod Williams.
Okay, there's 3 more. Can you name?
Do you want
This is where we get into like the nitty gritty because like they didn't. Darnell Valentine.
2 more.
Oh man, this is where it gets tough, Scotty.
Poor Scotty. You already got 8 points on him.
And I don't you know what the worst part of this whole thing is? I don't even have another question after this. So
I got you,
I don't
Scotty.
know a way in hell how we're gonna fill this time.
I'll pick you up, Scotty. I'll get you one.
I'm trying to think of who was another big scorer. I think I named all the guys that got significant minutes in playing time that season. Tree Rollins was one.
Okay, there's one more. Ty.
Scotty, I'm just gonna give you the point on that last one because I can't even think of another guy that played for that Cavs team at this point. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give you that point.
So I walk away.
I will give you some change, Scotty.
It's a shameful walk away. I get some change. I'm like a
Who was the last person though?
It was Chris Dudley.
Oh. Dudley. I've heard that name before. I would not have gotten that though. There's no way I would have been able to muster that one up.
Okay.
All right, so Scotty, that was your last question, right?
Yes.
All right, Ty, I'm going to see what your sports movie trivia is like.
Ooh.
All right. Kurt Russell and Robin Williams both starred in a football movie back in 1986. I want the name of the movie and the name of both of their characters. So 3 points on the line for Scott.
The only football movie I could think of Robin Williams being in is The Best of Times. Is the only one I could think of that had Robin Williams in it that had anything to do with like football or a football theme, and it was a comedy.
Is that your final answer for
That's my answer for the film name, yes.
So that's 1 point for you.
Who they were, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. I've only seen it a couple times. Isn't Robin's name Jack Dundee?
He's so oh, then he pulls it out. I don't understand.
Isn't his Jack? I don't know. I don't know the other one. You're gonna have to take the point. I don't remember the other one. I knew Jack Dundee, but I can't remember the other one.
I thought this one was the one that was more memorable because Kurt Russell's character was named Reno Hightower.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. That's right. I remember now. I might have if I thought of that one long enough, but I don't know. That one, it's been so long. I remember Dundee.
But you remember Jack Dundee, which
I
is
remember
like such
Jack Dundee. I don't know. I just like the last name. And I don't know. Robin Williams too was. I watched a lot of movies Robin Williams was in too, so I was a big fan of his when I was growing up. Jumanji was another one of those big ones for me.
Very misunderstood, underrated movie in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was actually surprised you even brought that one up too. I thought you were going to go with a more popular sports movie. Nearly no one.
I wanted to test you.
Yeah, no one talks about that one anymore. That's a good sports film.
You know, I got it because it was on Peyton's Places this season. He talked to Kurt Russell about it, so I was like, ooh, maybe Ty. And then I was like, Ty probably saw this. All right, Ty, one more.
All right,
going back to the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens. Who were the top 3 countries in the medal count? And how many medals did they get? Yeah. I'm getting Scotty some points today. I'm getting you some points, Scotty. There's no way. No way he knows all 6 of these.
Well, I know USA had 101 and they were the leader. Did you just throw something?
I'm off camera, so I can do whatever I want.
Just break something. All
right, Mr. Smarty. How many gold did USA have in your 101?
You said the medal count. Now
I know, but now I need to get deeper because apparently Ty's a robot. All right, so who are the next 2 countries?
I mean, just going off of the fact that it would have been a Summer Olympics.
I hear a keyboard.
It has to be Russia. That's definitely one of them.
Okay, so they're ranked in the in the order that they won gold medals, not their final count.
Oh, so you want
Apparently that's how the
so it's
Olympic
like
Committee
gold
ranks them.
medals. Okay, because
But
I
USA is
thought
still
you were
one.
saying medal count. I was just going off of
USA is still one.
okay countries that usually win a lot of medals. I was going to go Russia and then probably say China. Then,
Well, you got those three, so you have three. That's four. Now all you need is China's final medal count and Russia's final medal count. Jeez, Scotty, I am so sorry, man.
I thought of.
Well, we're out of time, so after he answers this, we're going to be done.
okay.
Unfortunately,
I'll put one in the
Put it in the holster.
for next week.
maybe I'll get you 3 points out of this. 2 points. I don't think he knows Russia's final medal count or China's.
I might know Russia's. I don't think I know China's. Russia was close to U.S. in this one. I know. I'm just trying to think of how close they were because they were pretty close.
I have to go back.
Were they in the high 80s or were they in the 90s?
I'm not going to answer that for you.
I'm talking to myself. Were they in the 80s or
Ty,
were
you're cutting down, Ty. I'm going to give you another minute.
I don't know China, so I'll concede that. I'm just going to focus on trying.
There's a point for you, Scotty.
I'll just try to focus on Russia's. I don't know if I can't remember if they were in the low 90s, if they were in the high 90s, if they were in the low 80s. No, they weren't in the low 80s. They were high 80s, maybe in the 90s. I'll split the difference and just give me 90 for Russia.
Oh my God, I hate you.
Are they really?
It's literally 90.
Really 90. Scotty, I'm giving you points just so I could still sink some on you on prayers.
So the count right now is 95-30. Ty somehow knows the final medal count of the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens. Scotty, great joining you today. Great segment as always. We look forward to seeing you again next week for more trivia.
Yeah, I have one in the holster, but I gotta tell you, after today, man, I feel you made me feel just like.
Hey, so the goal next week is to not let him get to 100.
Yeah,
because he's 5 away.
Man, it feels pretty bleak right now, but
hey, you're not mathematically out of it. Remember,
I'm gonna keep on keeping on.
You're not mathematically out of it.
Season doesn't end until August 1st. That's when our first season, our first year began.
You got a whole year. You got
until August 1st to come back on me.
Thanks for having me today, guys.
We love having you, Scotty.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. On the other end, we will pick tonight's games. We have a handful of games on the network and going on tonight, so we'll go through those and decide who we're going to pick for the winners. And we'll be right back on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Working with your family can be stressful at times, but because they're family, you know that you're going to get a loving, honest answer, even when things don't make sense to any problem. Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Anthony Hartwig with I want to say man, but I think he's not. I think he's a cyborg.
What am I going to do?
I honestly thought I was going to get Scotty some points there.
You got him a couple.
But apparently you know the exact medal count of the 2004 Olympic Games.
I knew USA's. I guessed on Russia's and got a lucky guess. I knew the range of where Russia's was, and I just guessed lucky. I didn't know China's.
It was what? That's 16 years ago, and you're like, yeah, I know it. I knew it. Oh, yeah.
US, they won it, baby. We brought it home. Brought home the gold.
If I'm gonna get real sadistic next week.
I'm sure.
Ask who won the gold medal in rhythmic gymnastics.
Yeah, you might get me on those ones.
Yeah.
You might start getting me on those ones. Unless I start
You know what?
studying.
I'm gonna start bringing women's sports trivia.
I'll start studying women's sports trivia, and you won't have nothing on me.
You can't study enough for to catch up to my knowledge right now.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see about that.
All right.
We'll see.
Next week. You already losing to me in point in
Oh, okay.
You know.
Go on, get yourself a scoreboard right there so I can bury you just like I buried Scotty.
Yeah, keep trying because I got two
Try
more.
me and I'll make you famous.
Hey, I'm a +7, Ty. +7. All right. Speaking of picks, we got some great games on the network tonight and games to pick. Let's go through these, Ty, and see where you want to go. You lost last night too, so I get to defer, and I'm gonna have you pick first in the first game, so I can go off what you're gonna pick. And the first one is Rootstown at Warren JFK, 6:30 start. And this is going to be at this is a Portage County first Portage County game. The second for JFK. They played Southeast, excuse me. Dom O'Brien will be on the call, 6:30 tip.
Rootstown I know is 4-0 going into this
and
one.
they're number 1 in the PTC right now. So.
Yeah. They've beaten some pretty good teams too and doing that. Couple of good ones. It is at JFK. That's the part that makes it difficult. JFK at home is really tough. They also have 2 extra games on them. For me, I gotta go. I'm gonna have to go against the banner on this one. I gotta go Rootstown. I gotta try to make up points in some way, and I can't just give points away.
Unfortunately, I do too. I think Warren JFK is much improved from last year, but I don't think they're on this level quite yet. Maybe at the second meeting with Rootstown, they can get there with more reps under their belt. Next pick is going to be Austin Town Fitch at West Branch, and this is going to be tipping off at 7:00. Unfortunately, not on the network tonight. But when you look at it, my first pick, and I can't pick against the Warriors in this matchup. So I'll go with West Branch.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with them too, because the only question I'm going to have is just with Fitch, how they're going to battle it out with some of West Branch's height. And Coach DeShields has a lot of height on this team. And Fitch, if they're going to win this game, and they certainly can, it's going to be with that outside shooting. And if they're getting it in from distance, they can certainly contend, I think, with West Branch, and they could kind of curb that height a little bit. But height is so hard to teach, and it's not just height; it's skillful height over there in West Branch. So I'll have to go with the Lady Warriors as well.
6'1" point guard for West Branch. Sophie Gregory having a great start to the season. By the way, we've totally forgot about the the Baird brothers Price is Right challenge. We'll see that after these picks. We'll get through these picks real quick. We'll go to that and see if they're where we think they are. Boardman at Salem, 7:00 tip. Your first pick this time.
Salem's defense has looked so good. Boardman, I think, is going to be a fantastic team again this year. Salem's defense has been good, but I worry about them offensively being able to keep up with this Boardman squad that can and will put points up. They have height. Salem's defense is good. Salem is ranked in our power rankings.
They are. Boardman's one of those teams that we think could be kind of trying to break.
This is a game that would put them right into it too. I'm already down by a decent amount.
Seven.
Yeah, I'm already down by an amount, but I gotta go with gut instincts, and I gotta stop second guessing myself. My gut instinct said Boardman. I'm going with Lady Spartans.
Man, okay. You know what? I'll split with you then. I'll take that. I'll take Salem.
It's a game that's tough. Salem's defense I like a lot, but I really do think Boardman has a very talented roster this year.
I was in a split with you no matter what. This was a toss-up game for me, and I was like, man, if he goes Salem, I'll gladly pick Boardman with a 7-point lead. But you're rocking with the Spartans, so that's the easy one for me. I'll just go right to Salem and their defense. Gonna force a lot of turnovers for a Boardman team that is very talented, but also ball handling has been an issue, and experienced ball handling. Live ball turnovers have been an issue, and Salem's gonna make that really tough. Canfield goes to Ursuline, 7:00 tip. And this is my first pick. And we haven't seen Canfield in a minute. They've had a couple of some time off, and now they're coming back. You would think that Summer Samarone will be back by now. You hope that she will. Either way, I think Canfield is just a little bit better than Mooney, and they're going to get their win. Try and stay in that top spot in our power rankings.
Yeah, I mean, they're number one for a reason. And I mean, with them facing Ursuline and the Lady Irish, I think this is one where, Ursuline trying to figure some things out, but Canfield is figured out. Give me the Lady Cards.
So next we go to Mooney, who is traveling to Warren Harding, 7:00 tip off for this one as well.
Mooney has dropped some games that I didn't think they would drop at this point.
They're kind of up and down.
Yeah.
They're riding the roller coaster right now, but they still have very talented.
Yeah, oh no doubt. They have talent, and they're a team that they usually pride themselves on figuring everything out by end of the season, and that I do think they will. The Harding girls, I believe, right now are just 1-1. I know they beat Newton Falls the other day. They lost a lot, though. They lost their big three.
They certainly did.
And I knew that was going to – I'm trying to think of – let's see real quick. I just wanted to see who they lost to. Okay, Cleveland Central Catholic, 59-54. Initially, again, I'm going gut instinct. It said Warren Harding, and I don't know if it's just the AAC bleeding out of me right now or not, but I gotta go Lady Raiders on this one.
No way, I'm gonna split with you. Cardinal Mooney gets the win on the road. They bounce back after their loss over South Range. This one is a chance for a lot of people. Question Howland being on our list. They're in there with their 1 win, 1-3 record against a very good schedule. It doesn't get easier. They go to Marlington, and I'm gonna pick first. And you know what? The Tigers, I think, finally getting that 1 win is going to really help them. I think Pompilia is a really good player. So is DeSalvo. I think Howland has enough to go to Marlington and get the win. I've seen Marlington. They're really good, but they kind of go as Evanich goes. So if they can slow down Evanich and, slow down the Duke's offense, don't forget Canfield had a 32-20 lead on this team in the third quarter, and they just kind of let it go. But you can't discount the first 2.5 quarters of that game where Marlington really struggled when Chelsea Evanich could not get the ball in the hoop. So I think Howland's going to give her problems, and I think they can get the win at Marlington. So what do you think?
I'm going to need to split with you to try to get points. Marlington's looked really good. Marlington's one of those teams that's taken down our number one team.
You have a chance for 3 points tonight. 3 points
in the
for
power
3
rankings.
games.
So yeah, let me go ahead and go with Marlington.
You Duke. What the Duke? Yeah, okay. That does it for our games. Just to recap to make sure we're all on the same page here. We both picked Warren JFK. Oh, you know what? I did Cheney Shaw. Did we pick that one?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm gonna pick Shaw to beat Cheney.
Yeah, I'll go Shaw as well.
Okay, so we both picked West Branch.
We both picked West Branch. I picked Rootstown.
And you picked Rootstown over JFK. And we both picked Rootstown is what I meant. We didn't split on that game. We split on Boardman Salem. We both picked Canfield to beat Ursuline. We split on Mooney Warren Harding, and we split on Howland versus Marlington.
Yeah.
There you go. That's how it rolls. Anthony with a lead.
Yes, sir.
Trying to get back in the game. It's not going to happen. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to preview tomorrow's show and wrap this one up next on Running Point. Brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
My guy keeps it 100% of the time. He wants all 100, won't settle for 99. And it's more than stats because there's people in those numbers. And I was one of the lost sheep. I'm so glad he cares for all 100. I'm 100% safe, 100% free, 100% love. I can be 100% me. He gave all 100 when they put him up on that tree. That's 100% passion for 100% free. So if I play in front of 100, or if I play in front of 2, there's an audience of 1 getting 100% of what I can do.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience, WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit wrswealth.com. Good luck, athletes.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
Cocos Pizza, proud to announce our pizza buffet is back every Wednesday at our Boardman and Canfield locations. Adults only $7.99 and kids only $4.99, and $2 beer starting at 8 o'clock. That's Cocos Pizza. We serve it hot.
Every customer has a story, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Hi, everyone. This is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life. and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at bairdbrothers.com.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Anthony Hartwig with you alongside Ty Bartell. As we've made our picks, we've made our recaps, we've had a talk with Stephen Procopio. We want to thank him for his time. We want to thank Gary Alstizer for his time as always. And Ty, when we look at tomorrow's show, we're going to have some stuff pre-recorded that we're going to be able to debut for you that we're doing tonight. We're going to have a Coach's Corner with Nick Blanche that you're going to be able to listen to. Coach's Corner with Jeff Fischel as well. So we're going to talk to South Range and Poland girls basketball. We're also going to have a pre-recorded interview with senior at Hubbard, Grace Narcom, who is committed to Cleveland State to play softball. So going to talk to her about that. Also going to talk to her about leading this basketball team and their good start. Only one loss so far in the season for the Eagles. So going to be a fun show tomorrow. We'll also have our picks and our recaps like we always do. From 12 to 2 tomorrow. And games on the network tonight, go to ysnlive.com/live to find out what games we have covered.
Kevin Haney also will be live tomorrow as well.
Yes, Kevin Haney coming on at 1:30, I believe.
Yep, and so we will have coach of Lakeview girls coming up as they have a pretty good start to the season. And Anthony, I think we both fell short because it is 45,874 in the big dog. So I think we both went over, I think, because I think I said 49,000.
Yeah, and I said 47.5.
Yeah, and it is.
We both at the end of yesterday.
45,874.
It was at 36,984. So we both just it went up 9,000, which is a solid day. It just didn't go up as much as we thought it would.
We're gonna need to do it again. Then we're gonna have to.
So what's it at right now?
Last time I just checked, just like 40 seconds ago, it'll be up a little bit more, but it was 45,874.
45,874. Okay. So it went up 9 in one day. I think Wednesday's going to be a little bit slower, and I have first draw because you won, so you still get the reaction. I think it's going to be a little bit lower. I'm going to say 52.5.
Give me 54,000.
All right, so 54 for you, 52.5 for me. Means it's got to be in between 52.5 and 54 for me to win.
We'll check it end of the show too, so I'll have time.
End of the show, okay.
We'll track it. We'll give them a full 24 hours then. 9,000 votes. You need to come up with it. 52.5 and 54.
Me and Ty are going to take a 22-hour break. We'll be back tomorrow from 12 to 2 with all that stuff that we previewed for you tomorrow. And Casual Sports Podcast coming up next from 2 to 3. Power Hour from 3 to 4. And then, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3 girls games on the network. And we also have wrestling from Louisville. The school will be taking care of that. 5:30 start for wrestling. 6:30 start for Rootstown and JFK. And 7 for Boardman, Salem, and Cantfield, Ursuline.
Casual Sports Podcast, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 is Power Hour, and then you have a little hour and a half break. Get yourself something to eat. Get yourself all settled in. You got wrestling on the network at 5:30. Basketball games start at 6 and 7. We got you covered all day.
Absolutely. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you.